The Raiders are benching Derek Carr. What does that mean for Josh Jacobs? What does it mean for Davante Adams? What's it mean for Darren Waller? What's it mean for everybody involved? Breaking that down and more of the Fantasy Football Show.
It begins right now.
This is the Fantasy Football Show with your host, Smitty.
Take a lap.
This is big news because of how many players this news impacts. Davante Adams first and foremost. Davante Adams probably takes a big hit, even though Derek Carr is very inconsistent. He can be awful at times. He's up and down. He can throw 2 touchdowns to Adams and then all of a sudden have no touchdowns at all for a string of games. Derek Carr is very inconsistent, but he does have rapport with Davante Adams that's strong enough to produce those multiple touchdown games. Adam Schefter broke this earlier that the Raiders are benching Derek Carr and turning to Jarrett Stidham as their new quarterback. Carr has thrown a league-leading 14 interceptions, including 3 on Saturday night against the Steelers. Stidham has never started a game. One thing we know for certain is that the Niners are going to have a field day against the Raiders in week number 17. If you own the Niners D, get them out onto the field. This is not good news for Josh Jacobs. It's not good news for Davante Adams especially. Certainly isn't good news for Waller or Renfro or anybody involved. This is a downgrade. As much as we don't like Derek Carr from a football perspective, from a fantasy perspective, like in terms of starting a quarterback, you're not starting Derek Carr. As much as we worry about this guy being inconsistent, he's better than Stidham. Maybe Stidham changes my mind, but I'm going to go ahead and bet against it, especially against the 49er defense. Davante Adams has busted 2 weeks in a row. This news couldn't have come at a worse time because fantasy owners who have watched Davante Adams bust for 2 weeks straight now have to prepare and expect and brace for a very bad outing again out of Davante Adams. This time it's more predictable. Maybe you have a better alternative. You're going to have to ask me in the comments below and we'll break it down. But for the first time, I might contemplate a swap between a better than mediocre player and Davante Adams in week number 17. Like DeAndre Hopkins, you almost have to start him unless you've got some very, very good options. DeAndre Hopkins was a horrible start last week. 10 targets, 1 reception. 10 targets, 1 reception. DeAndre Hopkins couldn't get the football. This feels very similar. Davante Adams, yeah, he's Davante Adams. Just like DeAndre's DeAndre. But 5 targets, 10 targets, doesn't matter if they're uncatchable footballs. I'm not saying sit Davante Adams. You have to have very, very good options to even contemplate that. Aside from getting injured and not playing, this is the worst news for Davante Adams owners. The Raiders could try and lean on the run, but this is the 49er rush defense. It's not going to happen. This is going to be a brutal outing for the Raiders. The Raiders are going to have a pitiful week 17. The Niner defense is going to explode. The Niner defense might single-handedly win people their weeks because I think they could score a 20-plus point affair. What's in store for Davante Adams walking into 2023? I don't know. Benching Derek Carr, to me, on its face, I don't think Derek Carr is going to recover as a Raider. I don't think Derek Carr can find his way back into the lineup at this point. Maybe he does. I don't know what's in store for Adams. This was a mistake going to Las Vegas. And I said that when Davante Adams turned down an offer that would have paid him the same exact amount of money to stay in Green Bay. He said, I want to go play with my buddy, my best friend. This is a business. Some people say, Smitty, that's why he got that big fat check, Smitty, because it is a business. The Green Bay Packers were actually willing to offer more money to Adams to keep him in Green Bay because of the tax difference. They wanted to make sure the offer was at least equal at the end of the day. So Adams didn't have business on his mind when he went to Las Vegas. He had, I want to
play football with my best friend.
This is a business. He made a horrible business decision. I don't know where to value Adams walking into 2023. To be honest with you, before this news, despite Carr's erratic play, up and down play, Carr still was able to deliver the football to Adams in a way that made Adams extremely valuable. The targets were there. The touchdowns still are pretty decent. This guy has a good opportunity to score points. Davante Adams with Derek Carr, a very inconsistent Derek Carr throwing him the football. But without Derek Carr, I don't know what's going to happen. And an ADP that I projected weeks ago to be around 7, 8, 9, 10, somewhere around 7 and 12. in the first round, bottom of first round, fine. That ADP, that projected ADP, I have no idea where it's going to land now because Derek Carr isn't guaranteed to be there, even though he's bad, even though he's up and down. Without Derek Carr, maybe they make a trade for a quarterback. Maybe they draft a young rookie. I don't know what's in store, but that takes time to develop. Davante Adams is no spring chicken. Davante Adams is 30 years old. Davante Adams doesn't have a lot of time left. He can't wait on the development of a quarterback. He can't wait on the transition of a quarterback. Wide receivers drop off around 31 to 32 now. Davante Adams has 1 to 2 years left of being an elite level top 5 wide receiver. And now a wrench has been thrown into the situation because we don't know who's throwing the football to Adams in 2023 or how that's going to look. If I had to project an ADP for 2023, given all we know right now, I say Adams falls out of round 1. How far? I don't know. No one knows. Unless Stidham goes out and proves everybody wrong, including me. Unless we feel like Adams can survive anything. Even with a bad playing Stidham, maybe Adams has 100 yards and a touchdown and he gives us some hope of, you know what, no matter what, I feel like he's going to survive. Unless we see that in week 17 and 18, I don't know that Davante Adams' ADP will survive or remain in the first round territory. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe he's a steal in 2023. Maybe it's a harbinger of things to come. A decline that by the time he gets back to where he needs to get to in terms of rapport with the quarterback and the volume from a quarterback, maybe his talent drops off right before he's able to bounce back and get to where he needs to get. All I know is right now, looking at the situation, I'm worried for Davante Adams and his fantasy value, his NFL value, his production value going forward. Leave a comment below with your thoughts on the situation for the now and the long term. And get on over to thefantasyfootballshow.com, your year-round fantasy football rankings, bold predictions, advice, one-on-one text advice. Your boy Smitty invented the trade calculator, the first instant-based trade calculator back in 2003. Go check it out, thefantasyfootballshow.com. I will see you at 7 p.m. Eastern. Why? Because I'm live every single Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern here on the Fantasy Football Show channel here on YouTube. And I'm also live whenever news breaks, like this video right here. I'm live Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday at midnight, Sunday a couple times. I'm live all the time. Now get out of here. Also, I just want to say something. We're doing 2023 content like no other channel you've ever seen in your entire life. If you joined me and started following me during the season and you don't know what's in store for off-season content here on the channel, you're in for a big surprise. Even if you were here last year, what I'm going to do in 2023 is going to blow your mind. And for anybody that needs a juice box in the fantasy industry, we're going to take a break until July. We're going to reconvene with daily shows. And we don't do daily shows even during the season. Let's get our juice boxes all lined up, everybody. I don't take a break. I'm 365. If you think I'm slowing down because the season's coming to an end, you're in for a rude awakening because I'm going to produce more content than you can possibly consume. Every single day on the channel, I'm uploading. Every single day, I pretty much go live at least once a day, most times twice a day. So make sure you don't go anywhere. I don't want to hear this old, I'll see you next year, Smitty. It's been great. Where are you going? This is an entertainment show. This is a news show. This is an NFL show. It's not just a fantasy show. So don't go anywhere, okay? If you go anywhere, you're taking a lap. Take a lap. Okay, now you can get out of here.
This is the Fantasy Football Show with your host, Smitty.